Good evening. We begin with the attacks today in two separate parts of the U.S. that have investigators searching for possible connections to the Middle East. First, at around 10:40 this morning, a former soldier in the Army Reserve opened fire on the campus of Old Dominion University, apparently targeting a class there for ROTC cadets. One person dead, two injured, and CBS News has learned that the suspected shooter had ties to terrorism, a prior conviction, in fact, for providing material support to ISIS. And then early this afternoon, news of another attack, this one in a suburb of Detroit, where a man armed with a rifle plowed a truck packed with explosives into a Jewish synagogue and school and then got out of the smoking vehicle only to be stopped by the synagogue's on-site security. While both attacks are still being investigated tonight, they present a potential pattern. What could be the second ISIS-inspired plot in the U.S. and the fourth synagogue shooting worldwide in less than a week? Our reporting tonight, starting with CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, good evening.
Tony, good evening. More than 100 kids attend a school inside that synagogue. They were unhurt and safely escorted out as security repelled the attacker. The attacker was then killed. This happens as they beef up security around synagogues in communities big and small nationwide.
Chaos at the Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, just before 1 p.m. when police were alerted to an active shooter situation. A man armed with a rifle rammed his car through the front doors that houses a preschool and a kindergarten.
He breached the building, drove down the hall, and he was engaged by security.
One armed security guard was struck by the vehicle, while other guards immediately engaged the suspect in gunfire.
I can't tell you what he died of until we get a little further. We haven't actually gone into the car.
Black smoke could be seen billowing from the building as dozens of officers arrived at the scene and quickly locked down the area. Frightened parents ran to the school to pick up their children. CBS News has learned emergency responders found explosive materials in the suspect's vehicle.
Something ignited in the vehicle. That's a work in progress. We're, through an abundance of caution, clearing the vehicle for IEDs or any explosives.
It's still unknown why the synagogue was targeted. Temple Israel calls itself the nation's largest Reform synagogue with 12,000 members. It offers early childhood education and educational programs for families and adults. The FBI had led an active shooter training drill there just 6 weeks ago. The Bureau has been recently issuing a series of bulletins warning of increased targeting and threats against synagogues nationwide.
Terror. Yeah, it's horrible.
All across the country, Chicago to Cleveland, Tucson, New York, here in Washington, they have announced beefed up security and protection and police at synagogues in those communities. And Tony, they were ready with extra enhancements in Oakland County, Michigan before today.